Welcome back to The Green Band, the comedy podcast where movie trailers are our main course and sarcasm is the secret sauce. This week, we're breaking down the freshest previews in the game. Margaret Qualley goes full suburban chaos in Honey Don't. Denzel reaches new heights and depths in Highest to Lowest, and together might just be the most emotionally devastating film you'll pretend you're not crying over. Plus, we're locked, loaded, and emotionally unstable with weapons, and we step into the ring for the smashing machine. The biggest news we have is that Benedict Coulter, trailer GOAT, is here with us this week as a special guest host. We're so excited to have him on. Let's get into The Green Band.
Welcome to The Green Band. Now, here are your hosts, Michael Carr and Brian Fink.
Hey, Benny.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Thanks so much for joining us.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
It's exciting. This is exciting.
So, for our viewers that don't know Benny is... Oh Lord, you've been in the game forever as a trailer producer and editor, and you've cut Top Gun, you've cut Forrest Gump, I believe, right? These huge trailers, like amazing trailers. I'm always like, when I started following you on LinkedIn, I was just like in awe of what you've done. So we thank you so much for having you on and being a friend of the show. Thank you so much for being on this week.
My pleasure, guys.
And don't forget about Axel F, the throwback trailer.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Genius.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say genius.
We should tell that story, Benedict.
Yeah, sure.
We should tell that story. No, this was cool.
Yeah, sure.
Well, at least, okay.
And you tried to help me. You were like really trying to be really helpful and reaching out somebody at Paramount. That was very cool. Yeah, I mean, you kind of went like, was this Forrest? Like, oh no,
But it all worked out though. So basically the story is, Benedict, you were cutting the... Actually, why don't you tell me? I'm sorry.
My clients at Netflix, at the time was Jenny Wilkes and Ashley Taylor. And they called me and said, hey, Benny, we were just wondering, did you cut the Beverly Hills Cop trailer? And I said, yeah, I did 40 years ago. and they said, well, the director of Beverly Hills Cop, Axel Foley, that we are releasing on Netflix, loves your first and second trailer, and he wants you to cut a throwback trailer. Yeah. Are you available? And I said, sure, of course. I'd love to, because I'm still cutting. I've been cutting for 46 years.
Yeah.
And then he had put something together himself, and he had AI Don LaFontaine's voiceover.
Wow.
And he said, I really would love you to also use that, Axel is back where he doesn't belong. I said, sure. But, I became really good friends with Don through the years that I worked with him. And I was very good friends with his wife, Anita. So I actually reached out to Anita and I said, Anita, I have this opportunity. Would it be okay for me to use the Don's VO? She said, oh, absolutely. I'd love to.
I love it.
And then, we were trying to figure out, maybe let's try to clean it up and have a better quality.
You guys didn't have stems. You didn't have the original VO stem.
We just used the VO from, I don't know, they pulled it from YouTube probably.
Yeah.
And then I think I reached out to you, Michael.
Yeah.
And
about trying to separate it out, which we did, but we did, but it wasn't sounding the best it could sound, because obviously we're trying to pull a VO out of a full mix, and it's very, very tough to get that to sound perfect. And so I emailed you back and I said, we did it, but what would be really great is, can we just reach out to Paramount and ask for the stems? Like they have to have this somewhere, right?
No,
so
they have all this stuff like in a vault in New Mexico. They have all film stuff that they're still there. So, with your help and the help with the people at Paramount, it
ends up blowing up, like all the way up the Paramount chain, like up to the very top of marketing.
The top marketing guy says, do you have, clearance for this? I said, maybe
and I'm like, oh shit, I got Benny in trouble. Like I got him in trouble.
He actually, it was Brian Pienko. It turned out to be really helpful and really nice. And he liked the idea, but I got to tell you, man, it was eerie. I was telling somebody the other day, it was like so weird to be cutting a trailer for a movie that I had worked on 40 years before with my friend's voice.
Yeah.
Right.
And Benny, didn't you tell me they had to load up the magnetic tape? Right? Yeah. They had to actually pull it from magnetic tape and
so they
redigitize
sent
the stem.
They sent the narration stem, the mag, from New Mexico, and we digitized it. And so it was the original narration that was recorded at Kaleidoscope.
Yeah.
That's crazy. This is like an episode from the studio or something.
Yeah.
This is what happened. Went all the way up the chain. How did that happen?
Hey, because I'm like a newbie still compared to Benedict being in this industry. I was so excited just to be involved with like something like this. I was like, oh, me just saying like, hey, I don't think this is good enough. It like opened up Pandora's box. Like,
but
holy shit.
It was worth it because it sounded great. You know, the funny thing, the director, when I sent him the first cut, said, he wanted to do music stops and this and that. I said, no, we don't do it. We didn't do that then. Yeah. So I had to kind of push him to stay with the version that I come up with.
You had to fight to keep it that classic style of cutting.
Yeah, because when I cut the original trailer, it was at Kaleidoscope on a Saturday, and I didn't even have any music, and then it was 12 film reels, and the last reel, which was the credits, had Neutron Dance on it, and I had the mag, so I was like, okay, I'll use this. It's great.
Yeah.
That's the best.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
There's no stems and lowering, lyrics and anything. You just cut, basically you have to cut in between the lyrics of the song, find the dialogue that fit.
That's fantastic.
But yeah, it was a blast, so that's why I still edit.
And the finished trailer came out great too, by the way.
Yeah, so when these things come around, if I had stopped editing, I wouldn't have had the opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Well, anyway, it was a side note. I like it a lot. It's like I thought it was genius when I saw it. And it was like a throwback for me too. I love that stuff.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Well, why don't we jump into, hold on. I hit the wrong button. See, I'm already fucking up. That's like, jeez. Okay, why don't we get into our first trailer? So this is Honey, Don't. This is from Ethan Coen, right? I'm like, right? You guys know, right? You guys did the research? No, wait, that was what I was supposed to do. Yeah, sorry, Ethan Coen. I'm wondering why, we could talk about this later, but like why Joel and Ethan aren't doing films together anymore. I don't know if like anybody knows. I didn't have a chance to research why, but it's interesting because I know that I think Ethan did, or Joel did one by himself, and now Ethan's. Anyway, whatever. Let's check out this trailer for Honey, Don't, and then we'll break it down. Hold on. Here we go.
Address you wanted?
Thanks, MJ.
Honey, right? Love those click-clacking heels.
Honey O'Donohue, to what do we owe the honor?
Can you tell me about this woman, Mia Novotny?
She got stabbed and stuffed in the car, I guess.
In the cool of the evening when everything is getting kind of cool.
Only when we submit to the will of God do we serve him. Hector, not in the sacristy.
Call me up and ask me would I like to go with you and see a movie.
The French, they're not happy.
Who's not happy?
First I say no, I got some plans for tonight.
Honey O'Donohue, I ain't seen you in a minute.
Mia Novotny, are you aware of any trouble she was in?
Will she owe you money?
She was afraid of something the cops couldn't help her with. I said I'd help. Cops said it was an accident.
That was from her church in town. She never wore that in the house. You'll neither.
Why is a private investigator looking into a traffic fatality?
What can you tell me about?
Do you drink?
Heavily, it's a point of pride.
Should you and I discuss this over a drink?
Tuesdays I dry out.
Today's Wednesday.
Today is Tuesday.
Spooky.
Action. Duty. Submission. There is no higher service. I help people, Miss O'Donohue. I see a need and I fill it.
You see a need and you exploit it.
This is God's punishment.
And His will be done.
Can you help me?
Yeah.
You're fascinating.
And you haven't even seen the riddle tattooed on my ass.
Love is kind of crazy with a spooky little boy like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm there.
I'm there. So
I'm
good.
there.
So good.
I love that at the end.
Of a teapot as a rise. That's really clever.
Yeah. I always think it's ingenious when editors find a different way of like showing, hey, what can we use as a sound effect to create a rise without using a sound effect to create a rise? You know, I always think that's like so smart.
And then the click of the shoes to the beat, you know, is like, you know, and you know, listen, is it also Love, another great song, really nicely, you know, beautifully used.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, I mean, these movies are so good. Yeah, you can throw anything in. I love the fact that you don't really have to tell a story. Kind of like you can throw anything. You kind of set it up and then let it roll and throw any weird shit in there, and it works.
Oh yeah, something like this I think works really well for that random type. You know,
Because the Coen brothers, I know this is just Ethan, but it's like they've always had that kind of rhetoric about them that you're like, hey, you know what? This is gonna be wacky. This is gonna be out there, and I'm gonna laugh. Yeah, someone just got their slammed up against a pole after being dragged by a car, but hey, that's funny. Who doesn't have that happen to them on a Tuesday? But it's like I think that's what they're known for, and it's a lot of fun. So
it's really editorially well put together. It's really well done. You know. Really, again, I don't know who cut it, but this is definitely working with the music and the stops and, just very clever. Really well done.
Well done. Now, Mikey, we just got to find out what happened to Joel.
Yeah, I know, right? I don't know. I mean, maybe they got tired of each other. I don't know.
Ethan's like, I'll do the Green Band, but Joel's like, I'm not.
Well, that one's from, I'm trying to find out who cut it. That one's from Focus Features.
Each other at some point, right? It's like, okay, I want to do things on my own. It's like, I want to do a solo album.
Sure.
Yeah, that one was Focus Features, and who are they? Focus is usually at Grandfather, right? Or
Grandson.
Thank you, son. Grandfather.
Grandson. Yeah,
I butchered that. Sorry, guys. Butchered your name.
Grandfather's opening next week. Don't worry.
Maybe. It's possible, man. There's been a lot of new agencies opening lately.
Grandson took the business over from Grandfather.
So Benny, what you're saying is he inherited it. Nice.
There you
go. No, anyway, I agree 100%. This is a fun trailer. I love seeing this kind of stuff. It's like I'll grab the popcorn, I'll have some M&Ms, and I'll enjoy it all day.
Well, it wasn't Grandson. I'll have to find out who it is. I'll work on that. But anyway, well, let's. I'm totally prepared this week. It's just like this. This is why it's a comedy podcast, because if we were trying to be serious, we wouldn't be able to joke about when we don't have our shit together. So
that wouldn't work. It wouldn't work.
Yeah. Well, let's get into the next one.
The serious. This is the alt. So
this is the alt. Exactly. Let's check out the trailer for Highest to Lowest. I like this a lot. This is more of a teaser, actually. The teaser. Let's check.
Yeah, I haven't seen this one before.
There's more to life than just making money. It's integrity. That's what you stand for. It's what you actually believe in.
Hey, man!
Do you believe in yourself?
Revenge!
Do you believe you'll be successful?
You're the man!
And the hard times will come from the good times. The hard times will come from success. The hard times will come from the money, and the mayhem follows. So can you handle the mayhem? Can you handle the money? Can you handle the success? Can you handle the failure? Can you handle the lovers? Can you handle the memes? Can you handle everything that there is in between? That's the question I have for you.
Got to get ready!
Can you handle it?
For the big payback.
Oh, money ain't good money.
Love it.
Wow.
I love that song.
Yeah, listen, this has got all the elements, right? It's like a great dialogue from Denzel, delivered perfectly. A James Brown song, like the package is crazy.
Yeah.
You know what stood out to me is visually, it looked like a Tony Scott movie, and it was so slick for a Spike Lee movie. It was really, all the cinematography is so sharp.
Right.
It's another thing. It looks like a lot of fun, man.
Interesting graphics too with the bridge.
Yeah. I was wondering if that was like off the top. I was like, oh, I wonder if they did this special for the teaser, or if that's like the opening like titles in the film that they repurposed. But either way, it's really cool. I really liked it. And then I was like, I wonder if they did that with graphics, or if they actually took a shot and then manipulated the colors to get that look. So I had a lot of questions about that when I saw it. I was like, that's cool.
Yeah, as a copywriter, these are always the fun ones because I'm like, oh man, I don't get to put my copy in there. But when you use one of the main narrator is threading the whole story from the movie, it's like, geez, I mean, and Denzel's so awesome when he does that. He's like the new Morgan Freeman. It's like he just sit here and you hear that voice and it's so distinct. And I just thought that was really
when you
cool.
have a great actor who can deliver these lines like this, it's like I got to use this. But the music, and that's the thing. I always said, the first few bars and you bop in your head, you're in. You're in.
Right. Yeah.
So cool.
It's James Brown's like one of my favorite. And a side note, when I first started in this business, the very first project I worked on was Payback with Mel Gibson.
Oh yeah.
And I remember I was just an assistant at the time, and they were like they were scrambling. I was working at Cimarron with CBO at the time, and they were trying to find the right song, and I'm like, I think I got something. It'll work. And I'm like, ran out to my car. It was like, 3 blocks down the road, and I'm running back and sweating. And I'm
you had to move it every 2 hours so it wouldn't get ticketed.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Jesus, this kid's having a heart attack. Relax, this will be fine. And we hit it, and they were like, this is amazing. I think it made it all the way to the top. It never really finished, but it was such a fun song. So every time
crazy when you have a really cool piece and you're just about there, and one person, and I don't really care for that song. Like, oh god,
yeah.
Look, just replace the music. Oh, probably the hardest thing to change.
And then the song they recommend is like completely different. We've had that, Brian, where we were cutting to something that was like bop 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 bop, and then it's like na, da, 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 and you're like, oh my god, how you want me to keep the cut the same? Like, that is not gonna work. Okay,
but it's always so drastic. It's not even close. It's always like, well, we can have Payback, or in the Hall of the Great Mountain King. How about that? They're all dancing.
and then you lose the trailer. Another company, like,
you guys missed it. It was the music that got me. What was your choice? You wanted it. So anyway, but I like this. This is well done.
Yeah, it's really very slick. Really cool.
Really cool.
Well, let's jump into, we're going to do a little Hollywood headlines here because there's been a lot of news in Hollywood the past week and political stuff. This should be a fun discussion. So let's get into it.
Hollywood headlines.
All right. So first up, I want to discuss this Jon Voight advising Trump on saving Hollywood. So the article I found is actually Deadline. It's read Jon Voight's plan to save Hollywood, mid-sized federal tax credits, increased write-offs, and harsh tariffs on overseas incentives. So we know that we know, obviously, this show's dropping Friday. We know that last Sunday, from when this show dropped, that Trump did the infamous Truth Social tweet, or not tweet, whatever, Truth Social post, where he said he wants to do 100% tariffs on any foreign-made films, right? And to try to keep stuff here, I guess that's going to solve everything. So, now that Jon Voight has actually publicly come out, which apparently, I believe it was Hollywood Reporter, no, it was Variety, said that when they finally caught up to him, it sounded like he was taking the call in a car wash.
I actually believe that.
That was in the article.
I actually believe that.
Oh my God. He's like, that's when he finally found time. He's like, well, shit, I'm not doing anything else. Sitting here watching the Suds. Might as well talk to Variety.
Just laundering my money. It's fine. We'll do it. It's fine. We're good. It's like
But what do you guys think of all this craziness lately this week?
Well, he's part of that committee, right? Wasn't there like an
Stallone, Jon Voight,
and Gibson, right? Mel Gibson.
And Gibson, right?
And Gibson, right?
Who's ironically making a film in Ireland right now, I think. Or Italy. Italy.
He'll be tariffed for
he'll be tariffed. If he's on the committee.
He orders. This is what's going to happen. Yeah, I know it. Well, go. I'll let Benny go first.
Listen, I mean, it's something he shouldn't get involved in. It's simple. It's just like stick to politics and I've been around the block now for, I've been in business for 48 years. Mm-hmm. There's a new generation of filmmakers and producers. And, why don't you talk to these people who are, working our business? I mean, the more mature people should be heard, but I don't think that's the right group. With all due respect, Mr. Voight, you're an incredible actor. I just think, it would have been a better representation to talk to the guy from Netflix, to talk to studio heads and kind of get their feedback. I think those 3 actors are great actors, and I've worked on a lot of their movies, and I have the utmost respect for them. I just don't think that's the right group to revolutionize Hollywood.
Right. That's exactly what I was going to say. But it's like, I know there's going to be a lot of debate on how to try to keep production in California, just in general. But like, I want to just maybe do it a little more down on a micro level. Like, why don't we just get people back in the movie theaters? How are we going to solve the popcorn model to get
with more Minecraft movies? That's how.
With more chicken jockey.
We're also going to have to renovate the theaters every 6 months because they're going to be trashed from the popcorn and the soda flying.
But that's how I feel. What about you, Mikey?
I wasn't expecting to have to chime in. No kidding. What do I think? I think kind of what Benny said. Yeah, okay. Look, the inner circle that Trump has surrounded himself with on this is interesting, right? You've got guys that are not necessarily business guys. They're not Hollywood business guys, and they're definitely not people that are in touch with how business is being done nowadays, right? These are guys that were in their prime during the 90s when it was all theatrical and stuff, but like we have a very different landscape, and we're at this time where Hollywood and just general content creation is merging, right? You've got content creators on YouTube are blowing up larger than movie stars. And like Brian and I, like you and I have talked about, you know, Hollywood's casting, you know, influencers in films because that's how they get asses in seats, right? It's like we've got, it's a very different model where very slowly content is just becoming content, right? So whether how you tell a story, whether it's over 10 episodes or it's 90 minutes, or whether it plays in a theater or it plays on your TV, it's becoming muddier and muddier and muddier. And that means the business has changed in that direction, but yet they're still trying to look at things. You know, we shouldn't be surprised, right? Make America great again. That whole mindset is like, let's make things how they were 30 years ago, because that's who's in office, people that were in their prime 30, 40 years ago. So it's more of the same. It's exactly what Benny said, right?
I have a theory. I think he just wants to get The Apprentice rebooted.
The Apprentice.
In fact, they could actually make a whole thing. They could do Celebrity Apprentice Part 2, and the three guys that work for him could be Voight, it could be Stallone, it could be like, it could be
they could be the rotating Trump in the chair, you know, 1 week Voight, 1 week is Stallone, you know, you're fired.
Yeah.
Italy, you're fired. I mean, it's like, it's just, I don't know. But it is funny what you sparked something else on me, dude, when you said about the merging of content and filmmaking these days. I'm actually working on a trailer right now where we have to write and cut it 9:16.
Yeah. You told me about that. That is crazy.
That's crazy. And it's for I mean, obviously, they were like, we still got to play for theatrical. I'm like, are you going to put it in theatrical?
Are all your scripts stacked, Brian?
Yeah. That's all I did. I just changed the margins. They're like, it's weird. Why does it look like this? They're all by 9:16. But anyway, yeah, it's funny you bring that up. But it's like, I don't know. It'll be interesting. The way I look at it is I'm still going to grab my popcorn and watch this play out. So that's what.
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%. Well, let's pivot to this next news article I want to talk about. This is I just love how headlines these days don't pull punches, and like I don't know if it's like professionalism has gone out the window with journalism, or they just don't give a fuck anymore. They're just like, well, whatever. You know, when they're got a administration that like basically doesn't want them around journalists, they're just like their headlines are hysterical. So this headline was, Bob Iger says Disney's film slate in next 18 months is its best since 2019. And then he basically named every single one of them. That's the headline.
It's ChatGPT.
Yeah, from Hollywood Reporter. So he's going, Iger is going on and on about what Lilo and Stitch, right? Coming out and tracking huge. He's got Fantastic Four First Steps coming out, which we talked to Charles Yee 2 weeks ago about his cut. He's got Tron Ares, Zootopia 2, Avatar 3, Fire and Ash. He's got this huge lineup, and he's basically saying that, 2019 was like the strongest for Disney. And he's saying that the latter half of 25 in through 2026 is going to be the next strongest lineup of films. What do you guys think about that?
I think they're trying to do everything they can right now to make money. It's Disney. They still have magic keys available at the park. I mean, it's like, they got to make up for all the stuff they spent on Disney Plus. I mean, listen, any news is good news. I don't even know. Is that the saying? It's like they're just trying to figure out what to do to move and get people hyped.
I think it's marketing. It's like it's have the head guy saying this is the best I've ever seen, and it's a lot of remakes. But also, to their credit, Disney, I think, is a studio is coming out with the most movies this year. So
yeah,
we're happy that they're making a lot of movies and that they feel confident. And, also, I think it's important for us vendors or us, servicing the studios. When the studio is confident, they usually spend more money. They're more willing to cut more stuff. So
yeah,
for us, it's really important when the studios are nervous about their slate and I don't know, we'll just cut a couple of spots on this. It's like, well, this is not good.
Yeah.
Right.
I like that take. I like that take, Benny, because I think Brian and I tend to make fun of everything. And I appreciated you saying that, like, hey, this is good. This is good for the trailer industry. Like, we're going to see, a lot of work from this. That's good. I agree with you. I think my one reservation is, and this is sort of a larger conversation that Brian and I have talked about earlier, is that, if you look at the lineup, and I'm just reading through it, right? You've got, Elio is new, right? So Pixar's Elio. Lilo and Stitch, though, remake. Fantastic Four, reboot. Tron Ares, sequel. Zootopia 2, sequel. Avatar 3, sequel. And then you've got another Avengers. You've got a Mandalorian movie. You've got a Toy Story 5. You've got a live-action Moana when Moana 2 just came out, right? So it's interesting that out of that entire lineup that he named, there's only one original property, you know, and it's a cart before the horse scenario, right? That studios are facing where they want to put out original content, but when they do, a lot of times people don't show up, and it sort of is like, but then the audience is screaming, we don't want remakes and reboots, but then they don't show up to originals. So it's like, well, what are we doing here? How do you, as a studio, kind of get over that?
I think that there's definitely box office attraction to a lot of people who are familiar with some of the movies. Kind of like if they like the original version, they'll go back and see. And they've had a lot of the Disney sequels have done really well. So, I think he's just, he's just trying to promote everything and make everybody feel confident. That's my thing.
Absolutely.
And IP's king. Everybody's saying that the studios. It's like, it feels safe. You have a built-in audience. You want to make, at the end, you really want to just kind of generate, in the end, money, business. But you want to get people back out there that want to be entertained and they want to see the stuff they want to see. However, I could be the wrong person for that because people like Chicken Jockey. Maybe they should movie somehow slip in Minecraft and everything. The
main audience,
Minecraft too. Something like that.
The main audience is 4 to 19. Let's face it. Those are the movies that they're making.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true. But I think it's good. It's pure marketing. He wants to get people happy. And like you said too, Benny, it's like, as vendors, we're very excited about that. We're happy to get out there. It's like, you don't have to give me all of them. Just give me 50% of those titles. We're good.
That would be nice. Holy shit.
Make sure feel good about it.
Yeah. Well, let's jump into, we've got, let's see here, what our lineup here. We've got 2 more trailers to talk about. Then we're going to get into Cinema Spotlight and do 1 more trailer. So these next 2 trailers, Brian and I have been noticing, and we can talk about this, Benny, maybe when we show the trailers if you want, how many horror films there have been this year. There's been so much darkness this year. Yeah. I'm kind of loving it, to be honest. So let's, without any further ado, let's jump into another horror trailer and check out the trailer. We saw the teaser, but now this is the trailer for Together.
I love you. What's going on?
I don't know. Since the move, Tim and I haven't been on the same page.
Please, do you love each other?
Maybe we're just complacent.
Imagine I do. I think about you day and night. It's only right.
Well, complacency can sometimes simply be
so happy together.
Harmony. This could be the beginning.
When you roll over, you're on my hair.
Of something wonderful.
Tim.
We spend our lives in search of the other half. If you think you found that, don't be so quick to let it go.
I think something's happening to us.
be okay. It's gonna be okay.
Billy, wake up!
You'll be okay. Whiskey for the pain.
It's a great button.
This is like one of my favorite trailers this year.
Yeah.
The feel-good movie of the year. Yeah, exactly. It's like, wow.
What a great counter music cue for that. So good.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, the first riff of it early on in the trailer, I was like, it's clever. I like that. Yeah, I think it's well cut. I think it gets more intense. Definitely raises a lot more questions. I know we reviewed the teaser a couple weeks ago, and we were like, oh, I think they're both animals. I don't know what they are now.
That teaser was super abstract. Fantastic.
Yeah.
But I still think there's like that little element in there because some of the copy with the reviews were like, both of them go wild. I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. And it's just like, you can't tear them apart. Cut to the saw. I'm like, oh, okay, this is getting interesting.
Man, you always catch stuff I don't catch, Brian. I swear. Like when we watch stuff, Brian pays more attention to the copy. Obviously, I don't pay any attention to copy. Ever.
Like it's important to him.
Yeah, I'm all like, well, they use that song. I really like that song. Like that's like, And he's like, oh no, you didn't catch this little like in the background. There was like this detail that must mean that like they're like aliens. And I'm like, what the fuck? Were we watching the same trailer? Like, how do you pick up on all this shit, man?
It's pretty cool. A horror trailer to that song. It's really cool. It's really clever. I like the beats on the door. Like as an editor, you go, oh, nice little touch there. Little touches. The guy's a really good editor. That's the guy who was at AV Squad, who's now at Requiem.
Oh, nice.
James Romney, I think his name.
Okay.
He's a really good cutter, and he left AV Squad to go to Requiem.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, well, you did a great job with this. I mean,
really, really well. As an editor, I look at it, goes, fuck, this is well done. This is well put together, and a real great redo of the song.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
I see that a lot lately. I mean, it's been like that for a while, but I just feel like I expect to see that in a trailer now. I'm like, now it's like, oh, I know there's gonna be a great song. Because to me, music makes a trailer. I mean,
absolutely. But there's a small group of composers who are really just creating great stuff. Not have access to stems and they can kind of do their thing. They're really creating their own versions of the songs, and they're really talented. And I love working with all of them.
Yeah. Speaking of that song, I was having trouble figuring out if that's the original vocal or if it's like a very well done re-recording.
I think it's a re-recording.
Yeah, but they found a guy that sounds almost very similar to the original singer.
Sounds pretty close.
Yeah, and it's funny. It would be funny to look behind the scenes. Is that because they couldn't get stems because that's such an older recording, right? Or is it just for a licensing issue? Like, I don't know. I find that stuff fascinating. Like, why did you guys choose it? Or was it an artistic choice? Like, I don't know.
Right now, Pianco's getting a call. I don't have to either.
Hey, wait a minute. I didn't clear this.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's great. Let's get into this next trailer. This is cool. So what I find interesting about stacking these back to back is we've got a neon horror film that it is very well done and obviously it has that indie vibe, but at the same time there's shots in there that feel almost like Stranger Things, like very high budget, stuff. Well, now we're going to an actual more high budget horror film, and this is Weapons from Warner Brothers. Let's check this out.
This is a true story that happened in my town. So this one Wednesday is like a normal day for the whole school. But today was different. Every other class had all their kids. But Mrs. Gandy's room was totally empty. And do you know why? Because the night before, at 2:17 in the morning, every kid woke up, got out of bed, walked downstairs and into the dark. And they never came back.
I don't understand at all. Why just her classroom? Why only hers?
Where are our children?
We have a lot of emotional parents here. I think it's best if you keep some distance from this place.
Matthew, where are you? Where did you go?
This is where the story really starts.
Damn.
So good.
You know that shot of that lady just hitting herself with a fork? That's dinner at my house.
Remind me not to come over for dinner.
Yeah. Well, real quick, I just want to throw out, and I'm sure everybody's a lot to talk about with this one because it's super, super cool. But this continues the trend we've been seeing this year, Brian, of the main title, the title treatment, animating over top of the footage, like building, right? We saw that with Wolfman was kind of the first one I think we saw that. But then there were a couple others we saw where they do this.
Carry On did a good thing too about that.
Carry On. There's another one too, but I'm forgetting which one. It was a horror film we saw. I think it's an A24. That one too, but it's slipping my mind. But yeah, I love that trend. That I love to see different agencies sort of stealing from each other in like the most, classiest ways, right? It's what do they call that? Oh geez, I'm losing my thought, but
plagiarism?
Not plagiarism. not quite plagiarism.
It's creativity. I mean, it's
Listen, they say copying is the greatest form of flattery, right?
That's it. That's what I was trying to say, Benny. Thank you. That's what I was trying to say. Yes. Yes. So what do we think of this, guys?
I love the way the O circles the kid's face. I mean, that perfect design there. Like first touch, go, wow. It's like always look at these pieces, and I've experienced this with big filmmakers when you hook them when they go, wow, that's cool. I think the kid's voice is fantastic. That kid deserves an award. Yep. It's so well read. Mm-hmm. It's so well delivered. It tells the story perfectly.
And I think that's awesome. If you can thread the story with some kind of voiceover, I'm always on board with when the character's saying it. It's like,
especially the kid.
Especially a kid. Yeah.
Especially the kid. And the kid delivers it like it's chilling.
Yeah. Do you guys think that is written for the trailer and recorded for the trailer?
Yeah.
And not within the movie?
No, I don't think it's a movie. It could be in the movie, but I think I think somebody came up with that.
Yeah. That's pretty creepy.
And incredible sound design. The beats and the little bits and pieces that it could have been Bill Neal because there's a bit of a thread to it. I don't think it is. I think it's someone else. But it's just really, really well put together. And
I love those kind of. See, this feels very different from Together. This had like an old school throwback too, like that last shot outside the house. It's the strings, that final strings. It makes me think of like Damien, or The Omen, or
it's very Hitchcockian.
Very Hitchcockian. Thank you.
Yeah,
and it was
very cool. Very
cool.
Old school in a great way.
Yeah, in a good way. Yeah, and then the funny thing is, I just saw Josh Brolin talking about this. He said this was one of the most intense projects he worked on. So now I'm like, wow, I just see that trailer and it's like building. I'm like, I want to see what this is all about.
I think, when these actors get into these kind of movies, it's so intense because the story is so intense that, I'm sure, you're acting in this all day and it's kind of hard to step away from, what you've done all day and you're kind of involved in that story. Like, God, he's missing.
Right. One thing I love about this trailer is it's one of the first trailers in a long time that had me like sit forward in my seat. Like the mystery that it builds off the top. I was like, wait, all the kids got, wait, tell me more. What they do? Oh, then they just walked out? What? Like, what could that be? You know, and so obviously I don't want to give anything away. I have not seen it. Of course, I have no idea, but the title Weapons suggests that, Brian, you think like somebody is maybe using these kids, he's like brainwashed or something like that, maybe, you know?
Yeah, maybe. I don't want to give it away. I have no idea.
Because I've already figured it all out in my head.
No, it's just to me, it's a crazy ride. But you know, some of the lines, it could be any movie. Like when the kid's saying something like, or the lady says, "There's a lot of emotional parents at this school." I'm like, that could be any youth sports event. I mean, I'm not.
That's your school. That's your kid's school.
Well, you didn't grow up in the valley, so you don't know. But no, I think it's, man, it does the right enough piquing my interest to see what is this. But I like those movies. I'll go see them anyway. So, but very well done. I agree. The cutting was amazing on this.
Yeah,
good sound design. And I feel like this trend lately too has just been using the graphics to be more part of the trailer instead of just a segue, or you know, it's like I feel like it's part of it. They're integrating it more, and I really like that. I think that's very cool.
I mean, to me, the way I look at that is it's kind of like that confluence of content, right? Influencing it itself, right? So that's sort of like a broadcast thing to do, right? You've got like keyables over top of picture, right? In broadcasting, you do that a lot, but theatrical, you would always cut to cards, right? Like it's like full screen cards. Like keyables were maybe a long time ago, but more recently, it's always cards on screen. But now it's like keyables are back in, and it's like, I don't know. I see it as like different types of content influencing the theatrical content.
You know, I think that people, you know, everybody's saying, okay, well, what's the next phase? What do we do next in trailers? So sometimes we go back to some of the stuff we used to do years ago, you know, and I mean, it's evolved so much through the years, especially with sound design. It's nice to see graphics work. It's really interesting.
Yeah. 100%.
Definitely. Well, we got one more segment to talk about. We got Cinema Spotlight. We're just going to be talking about what's dropping in theaters this week real briefly. And then we've got one more cool trailer that I know you're really excited to talk about, Brian, because you texted me to me. You're like, check this out. Oh my God. So let's get into this week's Cinema Spotlight.
Cinema Spotlight.
Well, I cut it off. Sorry. It's not as smooth as it is when we do it in the studio. But
not to integrate graphics.
Exactly. Example here. So want to talk about three things, and the third one we'll actually show something for. Okay. So opening up this week is Clown in a Cornfield, which we talked to Patricia Hoder about, like 4 weeks ago, I think.
Right.
I'm definitely going to go see this. Apparently, so I didn't, again, they just think it's fascinating that it's based on a trilogy of books.
Yeah.
And so, you know, when we talk to Patricio, you know, obviously he can't let anything leak, but I love that he's like, no, there's like a really great story there because it comes from books. It's not just your typical slasher. So I love that. I love that we get a slasher, that we also have some cool, you know, story elements going on, and it's going to, you know, tell a really great story. So I'm definitely going to go see that for sure. Also opening this week is Fight or Flight. This is the Josh Hartnett stuck on a plane with killers. It's like Bullet Train, but on a plane. It's Bullet Plane, essentially. That's what it is. It's fighting. Everybody wants to kill you on an airplane.
What's the old Simpsons joke? It's like Speed 2, but on a bus.
Yeah.
it's like we've seen this before.
I was looking at the trailers and why are these guys fighting? Why do they keep fighting? What's going on?
Somebody in the YouTube comments was like, I hope I never encounter Josh Hartnett at a sporting or at a concert or on a plane. Did you guys see that Josh Hartnett with he's in the Trap?
Yeah.
Pretty good, man. I like that.
Really?
I liked it. It's good. It's on I think it's on Max right now. But yeah, that's a good one. But yeah, Josh Hartnett, man, having a little renaissance here.
Is that Night Shyamalan Ding Dong?
Yes, that was. I believe it is. I don't.
That was Shyamalan Ding Dong.
Yeah, that was.
The God.
Shyamalan Ding Dong.
Sorry. But his daughter did one too. It's either one of them did Watchers and the other one did Trap. I forget which one. It
I don't know. Watchers. What was Watchers?
That's where the lady gets. They keep they're behind this glass in the woods.
Yeah.
And you have to go out and just stand there at night, and you hear these creatures outside. Or is this a dream? Did I just have a bad dream?
That was your bad dream last night. Hold on. Is this a real?
I think it's a real movie.
I think The Watchers. Was it The Watchers from 2024?
Yeah, that's it.
Dakota Fanning.
Yeah, that's it.
Brian, good news. You did not dream this. This is a real film.
That's good news.
That is good news.
And you're right. Ishana Shyamalan.
Yep, it's his
Although
daughter.
it says Shyamalama Ding Dong, though.
Right.
Other than that, no. I didn't hear about that. I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah, it was creepy, but it's kind of, like every one of those movies. I feel like the ending, but they don't care. They got you like 90% of the movie, and then the ending is like, whatever, it's fine.
Let's watch this promo for Friendship real quick.
Oh man, that's Jerry. Whoa. Oh yeah. This is my dream car. I hope you get it one day. This thing is absolutely cherry.
Friendship is a disastrously awkward bromance.
Really excited about it.
The funniest thing I've seen in my entire life.
You just gave me goosebumps.
An instant classic.
My whole body was vibrating.
It's I Love You Man for sickos.
Whoa, buddy. This is insane. I don't wish to continue this friendship at the moment.
Friendship. Get tickets now. Bring a pal.
I love Bring a Pal at the end. I love the VO. I don't know who that artist is, but man, that's a great VO.
Yeah, it sounds like some.
Kudos to the client who approved that.
Absolutely.
You throw this and go, what the fuck are you guys smoking over there? Like, it's nice to see someone say, I love this. This is really cool.
Well, also, this whole campaign has been so good at keeping the tone the same. And that tone is, what is this? Is it a thriller or is it a comedy?
Yeah, but it keeps you talking about it,
it's
a point of marketing.
Yeah, it's fantastic. But I still cannot answer that question. Like when I watch the teaser, the trailer, now this promo, every time I'm like, what is this supposed to be funny or is it supposed to be like a thriller? I'm so confused, but either way, I don't care. I have to go find out just that. What is it? I've got to go watch this movie,
It works.
Yeah, and it feels like, obviously it's clever, obviously on so many different levels, but I love the fact that these guys look like they're out of the 70s, especially Paul Rudd. But that narrator, if you go back and look at the Alien trailer, that voice, it's a trailer. That narrator sounds like the guy said, no one can hear you scream in space. It has that like 1970s, early 80s feel. I'm like, okay, that's really clever in the whole look of the thing. So
yeah, the whole package is just, I was at one quote was from That Shelf.
That shelf. Brian, did we talk about how usually they make that a lot smaller? Right? When it's like a nobody, you just like size it way down.
Yeah.
You know what sucks? We couldn't get That Shelf to review this show. I mean, it's like so I guess I shouldn't crack on it too much. But no, good. That was cool. Good find there, man. I didn't see that one. That's the first time I saw that. So
thank you. Appreciate
Very
that.
clever. I'll tell you, man, kudos to the client for saying
they might have cut it, but I found it. God damn it.
Exactly.
Well,
but you're right, Ben, it's so hard to find just getting a win in trailers. Getting wins are hard. It's just like you get there, and because there's so much that how many people lost their job making that. I mean, think about it. I'm exaggerating kind of, but it's like, it's like you get into it and to say, where's the pre-whip? It's done. Let's finish it. It's like, that's very cool.
All the clients say, do stuff that's different, go out of the box, and then you show them something great, they go, oh no, this is really weird. And then you go, okay, well, I tried, and I was on a call last week with, I think there were like 11 companies. So yeah, it's hard to get your thing through. You're a little tentative to try something really out there because, there's 10 other choices. So
they put 11 agencies on one call. Like, with the studio.
Yeah,
man, that's like talk about trying to like
Massey,
get out there.
Massey loves to do that. Massey loves to put the pressure on everybody, so you know who you're competing. You know, when you get the email, you see all the names. You go, oh fuck, these guys, these guys on it.
You're like, why is FedEx on here? What are they doing to? It's
he just loves. I think he just likes. He likes, you know, kind of raising the ante for everybody. Like, okay, this
the
is
competition. Just
yeah.
So all of a sudden, triple vending doesn't look that bad. Like we're at ludicrous.
Oh no! Triple is nothing. Triple is like only 2 other companies. We got this. You know, a lot of, especially on those big movies where they need to deliver. I mean, in some movies, like they've got every VP in the studio working on the same movie. So they're competing against each other at the studio just to get the trailer.
No wonder when an editor like Charles or Patricio gets or Chris McDonald gets a big finish, they're on LinkedIn like, I got the finish. Like, I beat 10 other companies.
I was on a call that Bill Neal did a kind of a semi-master class with this guy in France, and in the middle of the thing, he said, that he was excited when he got a finish. I thought, Bill Neal usually gets a finish on everything he cuts.
Yeah.
Right. But this is a new world where, it's like the NBA Finals, man. When you're the last one standing, you're like, you're bloody and you just made it through, and you're lucky if you get a finish, and you don't always sure. I mean, it's happened a few times where we got the finish, got the theater, and there was another trail up there in the theater. Like, decided to go with the other one. Hey, I'll show you the trailer I cut. What is it?
Oh my God. You were supposed to ship the other one. What happened?
I've heard of that where a trailer even goes to finish and still doesn't actually end up.
No. It's like you don't know that you've got the finish until you see it up on YouTube, and
we've had that at Karma happen too. We finished something, been all excited about it, and then we're like, I wonder when that trailer's dropping. Like it never comes out. Like, oh, okay, holy shit.
Wow.
Yeah. Man, that's crazy. Well, all right. Well, we got one more to talk about today. Brian's super excited about this one, so I won't even say anything. I'll just hit play. Let's check it out. Maybe. Here it goes.
Probably looking at my eyes.
How did that happen?
Well, have you ever heard of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, the UFC?
That's the bloody thing they're trying to ban.
This guy is the best he has ever seen.
Do you hate each other when you fight?
Absolutely not.
How do you know Mark Kerr?
Oh, we go way back, but he's a buddy of mine.
Come on, baby. Too much?
Never.
Too much?
No.
Please welcome in his Octagon debut, Mark Kerr!
Winning is the best feeling there is. 40,000 people and they're cheering you on. There's no other high like it in the world. No contract, no money?
No money.
Do you have any stronger pain medication?
Advil?
Advil?
Yeah.
Don, would you like some? They're handing them out like candy. Let's all get in. Everybody get in. Yeah, Don, can you take this picture for us?
Yeah.
What are you thinking at the beginning of the fight?
It's simple. Am I going to hurt him before he hurts me?
Yes, there were times, I'm sure
This Grand Prix to crown the greatest fighter in the world. He has come back from the brink. Let's see if he can pull out a victory over Mark Coleman.
Have you spoken to either about fighting such a good friend for a life-changing amount of money?
I just need you to let me in.
Always about you. Only about fighting you.
Let's fucking go. My big strong man, I love you.
I think he wants your autograph.
Sure, no problem. No fighting.
Awesome.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
You think you've seen, like, when you see The Rock or Dwayne Johnson come on, you're like, okay, I know what kind of movie this is going to be. But like less than 10 seconds into it, when he's talking, I'm like, okay, this is interesting. Because I knew a little bit, I'm not a big fan of UFC, but I knew about a lot of the early stages in the early history when it was kind of coming up as a sport. And this is a hell of a performance. I can tell right now, it's going to be a hell of a performance.
I think it's a nomination.
Yeah.
100%. For him, like, gone popcorn all his career, and this is a great role. He had a bit of tone of the fighter, it had that really elegant.
That's exactly what I said to Brian when he said it. I said, this is his Mickey Rourke moment.
Yeah, really well made movie, and again, another trailer with a great use of a song. Just perfectly executed.
Yeah.
And A24 makes some great movies, man. I have to say, like, wow.
I love the look of the film. So,
I do too.
Trailer side, I really love the look. It feels like it was shot in the 90s.
Yeah.
And then I love even the broadcast stuff they did, like the archival footage of him.
Yeah, with the
as
glitch,
Mark is so well done.
Yeah.
There was some really nice touches in there.
She's amazing too. She really is like.
Yeah. Oh, Emily Blunt. Oh my God, I love Emily Blunt. Yeah.
It's just it's such a great ensemble piece. It's so well done. It feels like, to me, it's a breath of fresh air to feel like a real movie.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's a movie. This is, I'm going to the theater for this. I'm going to see this. This is like,
yeah.
And very refreshing.
In terms of the trailer, it's sneaky, I think, in that it's more meat and potatoes, right? Not like a ton of stop downs, more just cuts, not a lot of fades and whatever, but it builds in this really incredible way where by the end, you're like, the emotion it draws out is so impactful. So it was sneaky for me.
The music definitely is really well woven into subtlety, into a grand finale that feels really dramatic with that song of all songs,
and her tear just coming down there, like the real pain. This is real. This is
great touch,
Yeah, that's
very cool. That's a good one, Brian.
Yeah. I'm still crying about it. I was like, so good. It's good. I love it.
A lot of great trailers, man.
Yeah, if I'll be honest, man, it feels like that this year. It feels like every 2 weeks we do the show, and by the time we get to it, there's ones that Brian and I are kind of having to decide which ones we're going to put on the chopping block, just because the show can only be so long. Like our sort of honorable mention this week that we just didn't have time for was the Foundation season 3 trailer is fantastic. So if you haven't seen that yet, check that out on your own. That's fantastic. So well done. And I think our friend Brian Wynn, again, it's music on that.
Oh, he did that?
Guy's just killing it, man. It's crazy.
Brian's amazing. Brian's amazing. He's so motivated. Every time I send him, I've had 2 or 3 cues from him that I tried in trailers that didn't go forward that I'm still holding on to.
Yeah.
That I sent him a song that I picked, and what he came back with were like, oh my God, this is brilliant. This is so good. He's one of my favorites.
Yeah. So definitely check that out. Just it's really, really well cut, the trailer, but also the show looks fantastic. And I'm like, why haven't I watched this show, season 3, and I still haven't watched this show? I need to. So now I'm like, okay, I need to put that on my list too. There's so many things, but that was like an honorable mention. So I agree, Benny. It's like, it feels like, man, we just got some fantastic trailers this year, and so many great horror trailers, like specifically, So it's an exciting time. But well, that's it for the Green Band this week. Thank you so much, Benny. I want to let the audience know, if they want to follow you, you are sort of have turned into the trailer storyteller. You have all these amazing stories. And so would you say LinkedIn is the best place to follow you for that?
That's where I'm posting my stories on LinkedIn with a little, usually a trailer and a little story behind it. It started when people were asking me, years ago, I like that trailer. You cut that trailer? I say, yeah. And there's a kind of a funny story behind it.
That's the best. Yeah.
Things have changed a lot from the days when I started cutting at Kaleidoscope, where basically filmmakers and movie stars came to Kaleidoscope because we're on film. And they came and I looked at the trailer in the Moviola. And now, now people send links. So, it's just like they don't get to see people in person. So I had the great fortune of, growing up in the business in that era where, I met a lot of people. So that's why I have those experiences and those stories.
Yeah. No, it's really you've built up a really great archive of almost trailer history because you're such a big part of trailer history, seriously, that I would suggest anybody that's into this, please do follow Benedict on LinkedIn and just go back through his posts. And he's got the best stories from Top Gun to, all these incredible projects he was involved in. And he sort of has this I love that sort of what do we talk about, Brian? A certain amount of time passes and you can start talking about stuff. So it's a lot of stuff was 30 years ago and you could kind of finally tell the real story there,
My second role from Curb With Enthusiasm now. I'm doing the 30-year anniversary right now. It's all this stuff that I got in 95. And I was like, okay, here's the 90. I've got the 85, 40 years. And I was really busy in 85, was cutting a lot of stuff. It's wow, man. It's 40-year-old trailers.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a good niche to be in. I was there. So it's fun. No, I've admired your career over all the years, and it's always been great. And it's but more importantly, I think it's good to keep those stories alive, and for everybody who wants to get in, because I get a lot of those questions too. It used to be how do I get in the trailers? What can I do to get in the trailers? Now everybody's just cutting on their own, But it's important to understand, everybody's got this place where they're going, and who the hell knows where the business is going in the next couple of years. But it's good to know where we've been. And I think I love everything that starts with a great foundation, and it's good. I think it's really important. But I enjoy the stories too, so I know I've seen a lot of them, but especially some of the names. But thank you for being on. This was
thank you so much, Ben.
My pleasure.
This was great.
Really had a great time with you guys. You guys are great.
Thank you. And I'll have to do our spiel real quick before we wrap up. So if you're watching us on YouTube, please do subscribe, and comment if you want to hear back from us. If you want to shoot us an email, please just send it to greenbandpodcast@gmail.com. We're on a lot of the socials at Greenband Podcast. So please do reach. Oh, and then of course we're on Apple Podcasts, and the show is listenable only, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, Audible, all that good stuff. So please reach out and say hi, and we appreciate you guys tuning in every couple weeks. And thanks again, Benny, for being on the show.
Thanks
appreciate
again,
so
Benny.
Much.
All right, guys.
Thank you for joining us this week on The Green Band. The Green Band podcast is produced by Brian Fink and Michael Carr, and brought to you by Karma, Creative Post Experts. All media in this production is used under the protection of fair use. Follow The Green Band on social media, subscribe, and like on YouTube. And please give us a rate and review on your favorite podcast platform. We'll see you back on Friday with a brand new episode of The Green Band.